Hello dear students, myself Yamuna P. Welcome to Yamuna's Physics classes. Today we are here with the topic Huygens principle of wave optics, section 10.2. Okay, let us start. Now, why wave optics is a question. I can give a 2 or 3 word answer for that. We have studied reflection, refraction, etc. in ray optics, where the Newton's corpuscular theory or rectilinear propagation of light is taken or considered. But using that ray optics or rectilinear motion of light, we are not able to explain certain phenomena like polarization, interference, diffraction, etc. And moreover, polarization is a phenomenon where it is well clearly explained light is of transverse waving nature. So, it is a must you should have another property for a light. So, we will say there is dual nature, two nature. Light is dual natured. It has both particle nature and wave nature. Particle nature meaning it travels in a straight line. Wave nature meaning it can go as a crest and a trough like that. So it has both light in straight line manner, light in wave manner. Okay. So that is a basic idea with which we are entering the lesson wave optics. So in the first introductory part that is mentioned. And second point 10.2, we emphasize what is Huygens principle. So this is Huygens principle, but before going to Huygens principle, we need certain analogy so that it will make us easier to understand what is Huygens principle. So its underlying word what we require is to learn Huygens principle, we need a word known as wavefront. So let us look at what is a wavefront so that we can easily go to Huygens principle. Now for that, just imagine you have a bucket full of water. Still water. The underlying word is still water. It's not moving. Okay. Now in that particular bucket of water which is still underlined, I put a pebble. That pebbles can create ripples on the surface of the water, and the ripples are in expanding manner. So I have drawn that ripples here. So this is the point where I have put the pebble. The pebble is renamed as source of disturbance, meaning after you put the pebble well inside the water, it starts producing ripples. Till then it was a still pond. So the disturbance was created by whom? That pebble. That is known as source of disturbance. Now, that surface of the water is a circle, plane. So you will have circles over that surface. So this is the expanding circles. Underline the word expanding. The circles are going on increasing their radius. So initially this one, then this go on increasing. The radius are going on increasing. So AB, A dash, B dash, A double dash, B double dash are expanding surfaces. Here it is circle, but you can understand we will go to surface later on. Now it is drawn as circles in two-dimensional plane. Exactly the ripples on the surface of the water. That is two-dimensional. Now, why I use the term surface? We are learning with optics. So the source of light is obviously source of light itself, not a pebble. And we have three-dimensional spheres instead of two-dimensional circles. So this is actually three-dimensional expanding spheres. And that surfaces is known as expanding surfaces. Clear? And the rays are drawn radially out, perpendicular to the surfaces. surfaces of expanding spheres are called wavefronts. Once again, the rays going radially out perpendicular to the wavefront. So what is wavefront? Wavefront is defined as surface, underline surface, not line, it is surface of constant space and amplitude. Again, come back to the bucket. We have circles. Why? The question is, certain drops of liquid or molecules on each and every circles have a property of coming up and down in a particular rhythmic manner, like troops for the parade of Republic. In Republic Day parade, the people are going in a particular uniform manner. Every person behaves or moves exactly to the nearby person, or everybody has the same kind of motion. Here, either all of them are up thrust, down trough. So, each and every point of water particle on the circle will behave in the same manner. That is called as same phase. And moreover, they have the same amplitude. Amplitude in the sense, positive, maximum positive or negative displacement is known as amplitude. So for a crest and a trough, you have maximum upward or downward motion. That is known as amplitude. Okay. So what is wavefront? Surface of constant phase and amplitude. How did you get the surface? It is a set of points. Set of points. Lot many points put together. 2 pi r. 2 pi r length means too many points just beaded together to make a chain. We have the pebbles just joined together to make a big chain. Similarly, on a chain you have lot many pebbles. These pebbles are whatever you put inside for to make a chain, that you can take as a points. So a lot many points put together to form a chain. Same as locus of points which have same phase and amplitude is known as wavefront. Clear? Okay. Now, one more thing. Speed with which wavefront moves out. I told you the wavefront is going as expanding surfaces, expanding spheres. It's going on and going on and going on. That wavefront moves with a particular speed. That speed is called the speed of the wave itself. You know, light wave is a form of energy, light energy, heat energy and all, you know. So there is some energy for the wave to advance, or the speed for the wave to advance. The speed of the wavefront is the speed of the wave itself. Okay? Now, at smaller, it's a very important thing, at smaller distances from the source, we have spherical wave. So, as long as you have a pond of water or a still pool, you can see the ripples because it has a finite boundary. That waves are created in that particular boundary. But imagine the light coming from the sun. What is happening? Astronomical unit. The distance between Earth and Sun. Nearly 10 to the power 10 meters. So kilometers radius that circle has. So that's a point source. Emanating surfaces are going on, increasing. As it reaches Earth, that surface is too big. So when you take a small portion of such a huge spherical surface, it comes out to be a line. A small portion. So that surface, if you take the surface, it will be like a small plane surface. Because the surface of the sphere is so much big that small portion on, if you balloon, you are expanding the balloon, expanding, big balloon. Take a small portion or area of that, it feels like a plain paper, plain surface. So that is, it comes out to be a plane wave. So initially it was a spherical wave at shorter distance. When it goes to longer distance, that spherical wave comes out to be a plane wave. Okay? Now HP means Huygens principle. This is a geometrical construction. It's just a construction. Figure which give the shape of wavefront at any time t equal to 0. T equal to 0, you have a wavefront, exactly the same thing redrawn. Here this magenta, this rays. Here again you have the magenta and the rays, same thing. And the shape of the wavefront at any time t equal to 0, and this is what we are going to define. And to determine the shape of wavefront at a later time t equal to tau. That is what I am going to explain. So, what is Huygens principle? How it helps us? If you know the wavefront at a particular time, you can create the wavefront at a later time using Huygens principle. So simple. So now you know this is the wavefront, right? But you can create, if you know that particular wavefront, you can create wavefront for a later time from this itself. That is Huygens principle. So what is Huygens principle? Let us see. So this is the main core of the topic. This is the core of the topic. Whatever I have explained, summarized is this core. So you have to learn this according to Huygens principle. Each point of the wavefront, you know the term wavefront clearly, is the source of secondary disturbance. Means what? You had a primary disturbance. This was a primary disturbance. This is a primary disturbance. It created a primary wavefront F1, F2. Clear? This is a stone. It created a ripple like this. A wavefront F1, F2. Very clear? Now the second part is, you have to create another wavefront, right? To later time you need a wavefront. How to? This is a reason. How to? The source of secondary disturbance. I told you, you can thread beads on a thread which makes a chain. So each bead over that particular thread behaves as secondary disturbance. Means what? They itself can act as new source and spread out in all directions. They again produce waves and spreading all the three dimensions with speed of the wave. The tangent drawn to the secondary wavelets. Look at the word wavelet. Pig and piglet is familiar. What is pig? Mother pig. What is piglet? Child. So let is used for what? Child of the wave. Mother. Pig, piglet. Mother, child. Similarly, wave, wavelet. Wave means primary source producing a wave. Wavelet means child of that wave again producing a wave. Finished. So that is secondary wavelet. We get a new wavefront at a later time t equal to tau. At a later time t equal to tau, we can generate a wavefront. How? Too simple. That again he said just draw the tangent in a fun mode. Well explained. Everything he has explained. Then what is the explanation? This theoretical explanation is drawn as geometrical construction. Finished. So either you can draw this and write all those things, or you can write all those things, simply see that's enough. But if you have this picture, it explains clearly all those things. So once again I will explain this thing. You have the primary source, okay? It created a wavefront F1, F2, okay? Now, at that time is t equal to 0. Initial time, suppose. Now, after a time tau, we know velocity is distance by time, you know. So, after a time tau, instead of t, you can write it as tau, and instead of v, you can write it as c. So, after a time tau, the distance travelled by the wave for sure c tau. Means after a time c tau, after a time tau, distance will be c tau. With c tau as a new radius. In additional to the F1, F2, put another radius c tau. That will be the new wavefront. How did you get it? With c tau as radius, you are constructing new circles. Why? Each point on the primary wavefront act as source of secondary wavelets. So, Secondary wave is produced from these sources. Which are on the primary wavefront? Now you have two wavefronts, front and back. This spherical wavefront has front portion, back portion, front portion, back portion. And you take the tangents to all the front portions. Then have a common tangent. This is a tangent here, 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 here. Then join all those tangents to get a common circle or a common wavefront. This common wavefront is known as G1, G2, the front portion, back portion D1, D2. And Huygens emphasized the front portion has maximum intensity and the back portion has zero intensity. So need not consider the D1, D2 circle or sphere or wavefront. You can ignore the back wavefront, you can take only the fourth wavefront. So we need only F1, F2 and G1, G2. You can ignore D1, D2. Clear? So this is how Huygens principle is represented geometrically. Hope it is clear. If you have any doubt, please put in the comment box. I can rectify as much as I can. Thank you for listening. Thank you.